Good morning. To all whom shall see these presents, greetings. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, shipmates, family, and friends. I am Chief Petty Officer Cristian Juarez, and it is my honor and privilege to be the master of ceremony for today's event. I welcome you to the retirement ceremony honoring Master Chief Machinist Mates Anthony Vega, United States Navy. We are grateful today to have all you present to witness this time-honored event. Our retirement ceremony is one of the oldest and most tradition-rich events in our military history, but the ceremony itself has evolved over the years. This time-honored tradition of a retirement ceremony serves as two purposes. It celebrates the contributions of a service member has made in defense of our country and signals the start of a new life. The gathering of the crew to pay respect and honors to the retiree teaches the next generation the value of honorable service, preserves tradition today, and will continue this tradition tomorrow. During the ceremony, honors will be rendered, not only to the retiree, but to his family as well. Because no sailor can serve this nation without the understanding and support of his children, his spouse, and his family. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the presentation of the colors, the national anthem, and the invocation. Military guests, cover. Bosun and side boys, stand by. Bell ringer, sound two bells. Master Chief Petty Officer, United States Navy, arriving. Bell ringer, sound two bells. Master Chief Petty Officer, United States Navy, arriving. Bell ringer, sound four bells. Captain, United States Navy, arriving. Color guard, parade the colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets were clear, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the and the home of the brave.
Color guard, retire the colors. Thank you, PS1 Watts. For no one should ever enter any great or important undertaking without first invoking the blessings of God. Chief Eddie Sills will now offer the invocation.
I want to invite all of you, bow your heads with me in prayer. Father, we want to thank you today for this moment, such a special occasion, God, to celebrate almost 24 years of naval service. Lord, we want to uplift the Vega family today and invoke your presence into this ceremony. For without you, we can do nothing. We're grateful for your divine presence that has kept them, that has kept our brother through the corridors of time, and it has allowed us all to be here today for this celebration. Father, we give you praise today, and we ask that you would bless every aspect of this ceremony. Let there be a calmness, a stillness. Let your presence dominate here today. For in the times, perilous times, times that seem to be clothed with fear and frustration, we ask that you would grant to our brother continued wisdom and grace. For we take great comfort and encouragement in the words of the psalmist when he penned, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? But thou, O Lord, art a shield for me, my glory, and the lifter of my head." And Lord, as our brother transitions out of the military into his civilian life, God, we just commit him to you. We commit his family to you. And we give you praise, the honor, and the glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Chief Sills. Will all guests be seated and military guests remain uncovered unless otherwise noted and directed for the remainder of the event. We are gathered here today to celebrate a successful 24 years military career of Master Chief Petty Officer Anthony Vega, and to acknowledge him for his invaluable contributions and unselfish dedication which made our Navy stronger. A more capable force, we would also like to recognize him for being the type of leader that has ensured that the next generations of sailors are ready to meet the mission and meet the challenges of tomorrow. I would like to thank the family, friends, and shipmates, both past and present, that are here today. And I want to extend an especially warm welcome to Master Chief Vega's family. Thank you all for the support that you have given Anthony throughout his career. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you our guest speaker, Master Chief Petty Officer Richard Quinn.
All right, good morning. Captain, CMC, family, and friends. Today, we're here to celebrate something a few truly accomplished, 24 years of service in the United States Navy. This 24-year commitment, sacrifice, leadership, and dedication that Tony's had in 24 years. Before I get started, I'm just going to give you guys a little disclaimer. Consider yourself right now, you're in the chief's mess, right? So in the Chiefs mess, when we have conversations, we talk about things. Sometimes we talk about each other. Sometimes we dog each other. It stays down there. So anything that's said here, you leave it in here. Everyone understand that? All right. If you remember this story and it's about you, just leave it in here. Don't get your feelings hurt. Everybody understand that? All right. And I didn't say your name, so unless you let someone know, they will never know. All right? Master Chief Vega, this is your day. This is your day. I would say it was supposed to be backwards. You were supposed to be doing this for me. But hey, things change, life changed, and here I am. Now, I could stand up here and list all the accomplishments he's had over the years, your assignments and your ranks. But we all can see he's a Master Chief, right? You don't get that for doing absolutely nothing. But that wouldn't even come close to capturing who you really are or what you meant to the people standing here in this room and then also myself. Because your legacy isn't written in evaluations or awards. It's written in moments captured in time forever. And I'm going to share those moments with you today. Also, I'll just say I heard whenever Tony told people I was guest speaking, they asked him, "Are you sure?" Someone said, hopefully rich chat GBTs, whatever you guys call it. And then someone else replied, he probably wouldn't know what that is. But one thing I'll tell you, if you know me, you know I surround myself by smart people. So that's why I married my wife. She knows all that stuff. One thing I just said is, hey, babe, can you chat GBT this stuff? She said, I got you. She did it. I got it. I one-lined all the big words and put my own spin to it so you know it was for me. And now here we are. And if there's words you don't understand, I'm from the South, so we make up our own stuff, right? Lisa, the cracker language, we call it. Fun facts about Tony. He claims he has no social media, but I found his account. Just like Chief Friday that has a social media account, so does this guy. And I actually shared it with him and told him he was busted. Over the years, I've been stationed and known Tony as a friend. It's been since, 2012 maybe? I can say I've never seen this guy drunk. Never. Never in all those years. He's seen me that way, but I've never seen him. I still don't know how he managed to do it, but it just goes to show you how professional he is and serious. Like, this guy is serious all the time. You've seen the photo on the brochure, right? Serious. I tried to tell him to smile on that photo, but he just went with it. Also, he doesn't use any banking apps. He still writes paper checks. If you ever want to schedule lunch with Tony, you'll know he carries his calendar in his back behind his belt. He'll pull it out, and everything's written in there. He still uses a paper calendar. He still schedules everything that way. He is also the cleanest person you'll ever meet in your life. And I mean, he is clean and smooth. One thing me and my wife used to joke about whenever they were having Hudson, and if you ever been over to Tony's house, it looks like no one lives there, right? It is that clean. So we would joke about, I can't wait till they have Hudson, and I hope he tears that place up. And he does. Him and Rowan tear that place up, and it's good to see. It's good to see two kids tearing up a house, and and I know it gets under Tony's nerves, but it's fun. Also, if you're ever on a trip and you have any issues and you need a package of dude wipes, he's your man. He never leaves anywhere without them. Any state, anywhere you go, he has a package ready for you. So those are just some fun facts about Tony you guys may not know, but over the years, I have got to know and also appreciate it, right? If you didn't know, our relationship started off as me mentoring him, and it turned into friendship. We invited him over one year for Thanksgiving. when he was stationed on the Lincoln by himself. He was actually late. He was supposed to bring the butter, and that's probably the only one time he's only been late for anything. And Lisa still dogs on him for that. Me and Tony go way back. Our relationship has changed over the years, and we have been friends for a long time. So if you take a look, right, these are our kids, Hudson and Rowan. One thing, it reminds me of us. So when you look at that, that's how close we are, at work, at home. So I love seeing them together because it reminds me of our friendship, and I know they're going to grow as friends together. So I was able to pin Tony chief on him, senior chief, and master chief, and it was a great honor to do that. And I'm glad to be also here today. When you asked me, I said, I got you. Even though some of you guys thought I couldn't do this. But don't worry, I've been well trained by a lot of folks in this room also. As your guest, as I had the privilege to watch Tony grow up, go through the season on the Lincoln. And my Lincoln folks here, you guys know what the seasons were like on the Lincoln. It's one of the last few that was a real deal, and we had fun. So I watched him go from that clean-cut, first class, being the career counselor in reactor department. And like I said, clean-cut, Tony was always smooth. He always handled paperwork smooth. And he always got the nukes their bonuses on time. As we watched as conventionals, those guys getting paid, Tony was behind it. Somehow, he loved getting the nukes money while we watched. So, thousands of dollars, thousands. So, when he made chief, he got the dirtiest job in reactor, which is running RPO 5. And if you're chief in RPO 5, you run all the shaft alleys on board the ship, if you don't know. And if you don't know what a shaft alley is, it's in the very bottom of the ship. It what keeps the ship moving with propulsion. And you have the reboilers. The sailors you get that are in RPO 5, some of them, not always the best, but you got to get the job done. So he was up and down those shaft alleys, running them, teaching those sailors everything, and then he got to put on senior chief on the Lincoln. One thing I can say, he still was smooth. He still was clean cut, running those shaft alleys. I don't know how he did it. So watching him put on senior chief, getting the leadership award on the Lincoln, he got the John C. Stennis Leadership Award on board the Lincoln. It just told you what type of man he was on the Lincoln. Then we both transferred from the Lincoln. He went to ATG, I went to Airland. We always had lunches together. We always met up. He brought his ATG guys over, and we would bring the Airland guys, all the engineers, machinist mates. We would have lunch and meet each other at that point. And we continued that relationship. So then we got to the 79. One thing I always do, I'm very strategic in how I do things. So I believe Rich Whiteman got there first. Rich is one of my right-hand mans also. So Rich got there first, then Tony got there. We worked it out. I knew they would have everything figured out by the time I got there. So, and they did, right? I check in, everything's good to go. I got my two best guys with me. I have no issues. During that time, I got to see Tony, as a senior chief, run the season on board 79. Watching him pay it back to the mess, watching him teach new selectees everything they need to know was awesome to sit back and see. We'll leave out the part about the season debrief. If you were there, you know what I'm talking about. But watching Tony lead and pay it forward meant everything to me. When I went TAD to the 73, when they were having really bad issues, if you're in the Navy, you know about the time they had over there. I told Tony, hey, I'm leaving, I'm going over there, you got the department. I knew Tony would have the department running like an oiled machine, and I could come back like I was never gone. And that's exactly what happened. If you don't know, Tony is actually a movie star on board the USS Wisconsin. If you go down to the Chiefs mess and you watch the movie on the old TV down there, you'll see Chief, I think he was even a selectee at the point, right? So he's a selectee telling everyone what it's like to be a chief, which that's funny because he's a selectee at the time. But he is still there today and will most likely be there till the history of the Wisconsin. So you should actually ask for some money for that. We had a lot of fun trips throughout the years, and somehow we always managed to stay out of trouble. So this time, if I get Lisa and Megan, stand up. If you guys can stand up. All right. These two ladies right here, if you're ever having a function and you need to have some fun, invite them. All right? Regardless of the event, they are always one decision away from DRB or NJP, just so you know. Like, you guys can sit down. Thanks. And I talked to Lisa about this before, so I won't be in trouble. But like I said, countless nights, countless family trips. We somehow always ended up being the responsible ones. Like I said, those ladies can have some fun. When our families got together, me and him would actually talk about it before we left work. Say, hey, man, it's been a very long week. We got to get it in tonight. I'd say, I'm going to stop at the ABC store, get the best thing, but we got to beat these women to it. Sure enough, that never happened. I don't know how, but it just never happened that way. We would look at each other, right, and be like, here we go again. Guess we're driving home. Guess we're taking care of the kids. It never happened. So, like I said, if you're having an event and you got some dull people around, you want to liven it up, invite them too. They'll get it done. I can only think of one time when we all got to have some fun, and it was that legendary limousine ride after the CPO celebration on board the Lincoln. And no, the Lincoln Chiefs mess did not burn down the Spirit of Norfolk. That was before that. So somehow someone was buying shots for the table the whole night. Somehow someone convinced me to get the limo to bring us home. And keep in mind, I live in Smithfield. He lives in Hampton. One person lived in Suffolk. So we had to make a lot of stops on that trip. Some of the stops we made was stopping at 7-Eleven to buy Mad Dog 2020. Don't know why. Don't know whose idea that was, but it was probably Lisa or Megan's. But it was one crazy night, I tell you that. And when we still have the photos from that night, when we pull it up, we just die laughing over and over and over. Also, we had someone had a great decision to say, let's go to an all-you-can-eat shrimp festival over off the York River. Don't know who made that decision, but I'm sure it was Lisa and Megan, once again, to drag us out to have some fun. If you don't know, you know, me and Tony are really fun guys if you've been around us, right? So he's always serious, and everyone thinks I'm always mad, but I'm really not. So I just have that face. So we went to this all-you-could-eat shrimp festival and all-you-could-drink. We had a good old time. And just to sum up that night, it was probably the longest ferry ride ever to get back to Surrey County from York County, right? But those are some of the favorite memories. It's not the big ones. It's the everyday ones. It's the little ones. And I'll tell you one thing about Tony. He has probably helped me with every project at my house. A lot of times, he didn't even know he was getting into it. He would just come over, and Lisa would be talking about a project, and then somehow we would just start doing it, right? And I'll give you guys an example. We had a swimming pool put in. I had to have all the drainage around the pool finished before they laid the concrete. So Tony helped me dig in the mud, lay all the plumbing, and make sure when we got the concrete done, my yard looked great. Building my fence for the pool. If you know me, and when I'm doing things, I don't measure too much because I have a calibrated eye, right? And Tony talks about that when we're doing these jobs. I'll look and I'll say, this is this much. He pulls out his tape measure and measures it. I'll tell him, I told you, I got a calibrated eye. He never believed me. When we did flooring jobs, helped him do his flooring, and then he helped me do my flooring along with Sean's help. Sean was tricked one day too. He came over, and the next thing he knows, he was laying flooring with me. But we worked together. We worked together pretty easy, right? When I'm doing projects, most of the time I try to do them by myself because I don't really get along with people when it comes with working on projects. But me and Tony, we don't even have to talk. We just start working, and it just magically happens, right? And the job gets done, and I'm not upset. So he always got tricked in those projects. One time, I built a shed in my backyard, come to work, and a storm was coming in. I didn't have the roof on my shed, the tar paper, shingles, anything. I had NJP for one of my sailors at noon, and the storm was coming about 1400. Tony says, we got to go to your house and get those shingles on. I said, you think we can do it and me back for NJP by noon? He said, let's go. Keep in mind, it's a 30-minute drive from Newport News to my house and 30 minutes back. So we went there, got on that roof, and we jammed it out. And it looks awesome. Still standing there today. We got it done fast enough. I jumped in the shower, threw on the uniform again, back at NJP I was. No one ever knew we were gone. I tell you what, my stomach paid, though, because I was hanging off the roof, laying the shingles. I felt that core workout for about 2 weeks. But that's the type of person Tony is. Regardless of what I was doing, he was there to help. It got to the point where I never even had to ask. I would say, hey, Tony, I got to put my hot water heater in. And he would say, who you have helping you? I said, no one. I'll figure it out, or I'll get the boys to do it. I have 2 older sons. He would reply, that's probably not going to go over good because I don't work good with others, and he knows that. He said, I'll be over, and we'll knock it out. So those jobs like that, but because me and him worked so well together, installing a hot water heater took, maybe 30, 45 minutes. Jammed it out, no arguments, no complaining, back online. That was Tony. He helped me all the time. So I enjoyed our long weekend family getaways, even if we were always the responsible ones. Somehow down in South Carolina, we did a lake trip. I was designated the boat captain and responsible to drive the boat the whole time. And then, of course, like Tony, my right-hand man, he was the boat safety officer. We made sure that whole boat trip that, one, no one drowned in the lake, and everyone had a good time. Hudson probably still knows what the boat rules are, right, Hudson? You remember the rules? What's the rules? Yep, no moving on the boat. So sometimes I would start the boat off going through the lake. What would happen? Megan or Lisa would be standing up. I thought they were on the Titanic, like this. Got to the point I would tell it over and over. And then I didn't have to because Hudson knew the rules, and he would tell them. Hudson would tell them, no moving while the boat is moving. Sit down. So it worked out great. We made it from that trip. Everyone stayed alive, and we made it back to Hampton Roads. And I've got to add one more memory, still makes me smile, is taking Hudson and Tony fishing for the very first time. Once I heard he's never been fishing, I said, we got to do it. We booked a cabin down in Dam Neck, went out there, we did surf fishing. Tony caught a 45-pound stingray. No fish, but hey, he caught something, right? I think it took you, what, probably 45 minutes to reel that in, right? Yep. That's all it is. We got photos, everything. I couldn't believe he's never been fishing. Like I said, I'm from the South. That's what we did. We fished. We played in the woods. When he told me that, I said, we're going fishing. There was a point when we were out on that beach that we didn't even bait the lines. We would just throw them out there, let Lisa and Megan roast their bodies in the sun while we sat back and drink some beer and let the kids play in the sand. It was that peace. When our kids were together, the women were roasting, and we were able to sit there and have a conversation and kind of enjoy ourselves. Like I said, we sat out there all day. I've never seen this man drunk. So later that night, we went back to the townhome at Dam Neck. I taught them how to play blackjack and Texas Hold'em. That was a fun night. I remember one time, Megan and Tony said, "Rich, are your eyes even open?" I said, "Yes, they are." And I was winning every single hand, kicking their butts. At least I thought I was. Those were the fun times when I look back. We had a lot of experiences about work, but the family trips and things like that, we had fun. Now I'll talk to you a little bit more about the Kennedy. And if you know the Kennedy was a tough ship, and it really wasn't about the mission, it was more mental, right? But I will only bring up this if I'm in the circle of trust. If I'm in a circle of trust with you guys, then I'll start this conversation. Am I in the circle of trust? All right. Okay, let's go ahead and get the hay in the barn, all right? I got one more question, though, before I get started. I know I got some chiefs out there. Chief, can you tell me what is on the enlisted profile sheets for advancements for a sailor? I'm just joking. You don't have to answer that, all right? Don't have to answer that question. If you were on the Kennedy, like I said, you'll understand it was mentally challenging place. At one point in engineering department, we had 7.5 master chiefs. I'll say that again, 7.5 master chiefs in engineering department. Some folks were even scared to come up there to the 4th deck. So a lot of people would come up, they would sit down, they would ask us questions and ask us what we thought, and then they would tell us what they thought in their plan. Normally, that plan was not the right thing to do. Normally, they didn't listen to us. They would normally leave mad because we would give them the business, and then they would go out to the command and start their plan that we told them not to do. So we would sit back and watch it just crash and burn. And then they would come up a second time and finally listen. And those 7.5 of us understand how frustrating that was to watch. Each one of us up there had our own key, like, special thing we do. And if you think about it, who would ever think 7.5 engineering master chiefs would work good together, right? You would think it was crazy, but somehow we made it work. I looked at trucks all day. I shopped maybe 4 years while I was there, right? Tony kept everything organized. He kept everything going. He also would remember everyone's birthdays, do that. LV, she handled all the damage control for the ship, and then also no one ever messed with LV. So, not even me. She had that great thing about her where she would just scare people. Rob handled a lot of paperwork and boards for people. He was, I think he still probably is, batting 1,000 for map boards, awards boards, cap boards, eval boards, you name it. He was the guy we sent for that. And if you ever need a letter of recommendation, or to get out of jail, you need a letter, or to get your pay grade back if you do something stupid, Rob Dobbin is your man. He can do anything when it comes to paperwork. I think our time there, Rob's made 20 chiefs and electricians just in his time. And he thought he was going to be able to keep them, but they would always take them. We would always have great counseling and mentoring sessions to anyone that would come up there. The CMC would even come over. He would sit down, and he would just vent to us. He would vent to us the problems. We would listen. Hopefully, we got him back on track, and we would get the ship moving. That fourth deck made a lot of things happen on the JFK. One thing that was really bad is the person who had the worst job there was probably Rich Whiteman. Rich, where you at? He's in the back. So he was the only senior chief there with 7.5 of us. So could you imagine that? There was times, right, I would be showing Rich trucks, our campers, and Tony would tell Rich, don't let him get trapped in this conversation. You have work to do. Turn around and get it done. Because later he's going to ask you if it's finished, and then he's going to be mad because he's going to forget he was talking to you all day. Every friendship, there's also bad times. And I can't stand up here without mentioning some of those moments that we've had. And Tony, you helped me through all that. So on the Kennedy, if you don't know, we lost Chief Hahn and Senior Chief LaPrete. So I left 2 seats empty right there up front just for them because they're here with us today. So when we lost them, Tony took care of everything. Anything we can ask for. And he helped me out a lot, losing those. And I'll never forget it. Thank you for that, Tony. Also, our lunchtime subway trips, right? Everyone knows on a Kennedy, I ate the same sandwich every single day. Probably for 5 years? Till they got the mess decks up. Because I do things by schedule and by habit. And we would walk the subway, we would talk. We would talk about life, we would talk about everything. And during that time, I was always his mentor, but he became my mentor in helping me through life situations. And I'm going to be honest, if you don't know, marriage is hard, right? Marriage is not easy. I would say probably if it wasn't for Tony and the 7.5 other MASH chiefs up there, I honestly don't know if I'd be married today. But having friends and surrounding people like Tony and that team help you through everything. So if you don't have a group, if you don't have that one person here in your life, get one, all right? Everyone should have that one person they can talk to. They can say anything, and they will give you the real deal. Don't find that person who's going to sugarcoat everything and make you seem like you're perfect, because we're not. That's one thing I like about Tony. He's not going to tell me what I want to hear. He's going to tell me the real deal, and that's what he did. So, Master Chief Vega, you are a leader, a friend, a chief in every sense of the word. Your career speaks for itself, but the character speaks louder. And today, you step into retirement. You leave behind more than just time served. You leave behind the legacy and the sailors you led. A lot of them are here today, and the example you set. And if people are lucky enough to call you a friend. Retirement isn't the end. It's just a new chapter for you. And I'm excited for you. One where the schedule's yours. I know you'll still have to pull it out of your back pocket and put it on your piece of paper, but it's still yours. The priorities are going to shift. No longer taking care of me, taking care of the ship's mission. It's about you now. But one thing I know for sure, your approach, it's the same way you approached these last 24 years, with purpose and with heart and integrity and standards. Thank you. Thank you for your service, your leadership, and the most important to me, your friendship.
Thank you, Master Chief Quinn. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you our presiding officer, Captain Creedwalt, Commanding Officer, Supervisor of Shipbuilding, Conversion, and Repair, Newport News.
I don't know how I follow that. I will go off of my script, though, and say I just am standing here on the stage in awe because I've had the amazing opportunity to have known both of these fine gentlemen and work with them over the last, I guess, 12 years. And they lived exactly how Rich described, and that's pretty special. So, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Tony Vega's retirement ceremony. It is an honor to be standing here in front of you today as the presiding officer, especially to recognize a leader such as Master Chief Tony Vega, who is a leader, a shipmate, and a cornerstone of our Navy. Days like this matter, not because they mark the passage of time, but because they give us the opportunity to pause and recognize a life lived in service, a life that has shaped sailors, strengthened commands, and left an undeniable mark on the United States Navy. But before we talk about Tony's career, we're going to recognize the team that made it possible, his family. His blood family, Navy family, and the family he built along the way. Thank you. Megan, you have been there through the good times and the bad, the highs and the lows. You make Tony a better Tony, and you balance his crazy drive and determination. Thank you for bringing joy into his life and loving him through it all. Hudson, your daddy loves you more than you will ever know. And I have really enjoyed getting to know you over the past 2 years. It's hard to believe that I've known your dad since before you were even born. You, like your father, are a true gentleman. You are kind, generous, and loving. And I look forward to seeing some of the amazing adventures you guys are going to go on together. Make sure you ask your daddy to tell you stories of these adventures he's had over the last 24 years. They are going to be very important for you to hear. It has been an honor to get to meet some of the rest of the extended family that's here with us today and friends that have become family over the years. To Tony's mother, thank you for raising such an amazing man and leader. You should be so proud. To his brothers and sister, and to all those here from Megan's side of the family, thank you for the support that you have provided to this precious family over the last 24 years. Well, I guess it hasn't been that long for Megan's side, but you know what I mean, of dedicated service. Without your support, the journey may not have been possible. To everyone here in the audience who has supported Tony, thank you for the sacrifices, the missed holidays, the long deployments, and the moments where the Navy came first. There is no such thing as a successful Master Chief without an equally strong support system standing behind him. Now, let's talk about Tony Vega. Tony's journey through the Navy is exactly what we'd hope for when we talk about building war fighters and leaders. From Surface Warfare Engineering School Command in Great Lakes to early sea duty aboard the USS Kitty Hawk and the USS Frank Cable, Tony built his foundation the right way, through technical mastery and operational experience. He sharpened his edge at Naval Talent Acquisition Group Great Lakes, investing in the future Navy before returning to the fleet aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln, which is where our story together really begins. Because I had the privilege, and I mean that sincerely, the privilege to serve alongside Tony when I was the chief engineer on the USS Abraham Lincoln, and he was in reactor department. Those of you that are carrier sailors might ask yourself why I would know a chief in reactor department as the chief engineer, but Rich kind of already explained that to you. I had the luxury of having the best DLCPOs, or departmental leading chief petty officers, on the entire ship. It started with Romy Encarnacion and then followed by Master Chief Rich Quinn. Rich was Tony's mentor, now great friend, and so by default, I got to know this fine leader. Those of you that know Rich know he has high standards, even though he shops a lot on the internet, I just found out. So I credit him with instilling Tony his high standards. That said, we weren't the only ones who saw Tony's greatness. He was awarded, like Rich said, the John C. Stennis Leadership Award while on Lincoln as well. If you never worked around Rich or Tony, you may not fully appreciate their enforcements of standards. I personally do, but I'm not going to tell that story. Tony, just like Rich, did not believe in average. He doesn't tolerate good enough, and he doesn't accept mediocrity when it comes to sailors or his equipment. Some may say Tony was hard on his sailors. I say he held them to what he knew they were capable of because he believed in them, and that's a big difference. I watched him hold the line day after day, ensuring that standards required to safely operate a nuclear-powered warship were exceeded. He demanded precision, accountability, and ownership. And he didn't just enforce standards, he built the people who were needed and capable of meeting them. That's leadership. Now, if you really want to understand Tony, you don't just look at his assignments, you look at how he's wired. And for some of you that have worked for me in the past, you know I have my leadership teams take an assessment called the Clifton Strengths Finder. And I will say his is an epitome and absolutely describes who he is as a person and a leader. His number one strength is called belief. Tony operates from a core set of values that do not move. 2 is a ranger. He takes complexity and turns it into execution. 3 is discipline. Standards matter, and he lives them. 4, achiever. He gets it done every day. And 5, individualization. That's the one that explains the most, because behind the high standards and tough love, Tony knows his people at the individual level. He knows how to push each sailor differently to get the best out of them. Those first 4 strengths sit squarely in what we call the execution realm. That's why Tony delivers mission results. But that 5th strength, that's why people follow him, his relationship building. That's why his leadership sticks. After Lincoln, Tony continued to do what he's always done, build, lead, and deliver. At Navy Service Support Advanced Training Command, Afloat Training Group Norfolk, PCU Kennedy, and now with me again at Soup Ship Newport News, he has continued to shape the force. He's trained sailors that will go to sea, he has built systems that will fight, and he has enforced standards that will keep people alive. That's impact, that's legacy. Tony, the title Master Chief, is not given. It is earned over years of doing the hard things the right way, especially when it's inconvenient. You've done that. But your real legacy isn't your rank. It's the sailors who are better because they work for you. It's the chiefs and officers who lead differently because they learn from you. It's the standard you leave behind in every space that you've touched. That's what lasts. Tony, your legacy is your people. So I'll close with Theodore Roosevelt's words from The Man in the Arena. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Tony, that's you. While you're stepping out of the Navy arena, I know that you will enter a new one that includes building Hudson into the man who he is destined to be, and being the husband to Megan that you have always endeavored to be. Thank you for your leadership, your toughness, and your commitment. Thank you to Megan and Hudson for your unwavering support. Congratulations, Master Chief Vega. You have earned this retirement, and I know your legacy will be long-lived through those you trained. Fair winds and following seas.
Thank you, Captain. I would like to invite both Master Chief Vega and Captain Creedwell to the center of the stage. Will the guests please rise as Captain Creedwell will now present Master Chief Vega with his Editor Award and various certificates of appreciation. Attention to award. The Department of the Navy, this is to certify the Secretary of the Navy has awarded the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, Gold Star in lieu of the fourth award. 2, Master Chief Machinist Mate, Surface Warfare, Tony Vega, United States Navy. 4, Meritorious Achievement while serving as Assistant Project Officer for PCU John F. Kennedy, CVN 79, at Supervisor of Shipbuilding Conversion and Repair. Newport News from October 2024 to February of 2026. Master Chief Vega's leadership was instrumental in advancing the ship's fire safety program, culminating the successful evolution of the first ever supervisor shipbuilding evaluated fire drill. Additionally, his superb management and focused training of the security forces were pivotal in preparing the crew for the successful completion of builder's trials and ensuring the vessel was ready for delivery into a naval service. Master Chief Vega's professionalism, perseverance, and dedication to duty reflected credit upon him, and we're keeping in the higher traditions of the United States Naval Service. Signed this day, 17th April 2026, H.A. Creedwell, Captain, United States Navy, Commanding Officer, Supervisor, Newport News. Fleet Reserve Certificate. Of this day, the United States Navy, this is to certify Master Chief Machinist Mate, Surface Warfare, Anthony Vega Jr. was transferred from active duty to the Fleet Reserve of the United States of the Navy on the 17th day of April, 2026, after 24 years of service. This certificate is awarded as a testimonial of faithful and honorable service. We would like to invite Master Chief Vega's family to the center of the stage. To all who shall see these presents, greetings. To Megan E. Vega, by the authority vested in me, it is now my pleasure to express the grateful appreciation of the United States Navy to you for your unselfish, patriotic, and devoted service during your husband's military career. Your unfailing support and understanding helped immeasurably to make possible his lasting contribution to the Navy. To those who say a single man cannot make a difference, I say wrong. Your husband did. He made our Navy stronger and kept our nation safe. With his service to the Navy now complete, he will be able to spend more time with you in the future. The United States Navy thanks you, and I thank you. Given this 17th day of April, 2026, Hannah Creedwell, Commanding Officer, USN, Supervisor, Shipbuilding. Thank you, Captain. Thank you, Master Chief. I would like now to invite Master Chief Avalon to read the history of the shadow box.
Testing, testing. Okay. Do I meet the standard for you today, buddy? So real quick, so before we get started, you talk about somebody who loves to clean. I love going on leave because when I come back, my office is completely clean. I may not have any more Lysol wipes or any more paper towels, but it comes back really clean, so that is a true testament. And to you, buddy, I appreciate you. History of the charge book. According to some, the accounts of a naval history and tradition, when a sailor retires and is departing from the ship for the last time, it is considered bad luck for the sailor's shadow box to touch the land before he does. Thus, the sailor's shipmates would construct a sturdy box, handcrafted of the finest material, in which to display mementos of sailors' accomplishments, thereby symbolically creating a shadow of the sailor. In this case, there is no shadow big enough for Tony, to be honest. The shadow box safely contains a sailor's shadow until he is safely ashore, at which time the shadow box can be given to the sailor in a presentation ceremony. Ideally, a shadow box serves not only as a reminder of the achievements and accomplishments, but also as the culmination of a sailor's career. Again, this shadow box is not big enough. A shadow box should enable a stranger to glance at its contents and gain a substantial understanding of the owner's past service and achievements. Again, this shadow box can't do this for Tony, I promise you. On behalf of your fellow shipmates, today we will present you with this shadow box that can only be the start of your conversation. It will never be the end of your conversation.
Master Chief Quinn and Master Chief Avalon will now present Master Chief Vega with a shadow box. All guests can be seated. Thank you, Master Chief Quinn and Master Chief Avalon. I will now ask that Chief Adams and Chief Port present Master Chief Vega with his gifts from the Chief's Mess on board PCU John F. Kennedy and Soup Ship. Thank you, Chief Adams and Chief Port. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor and distinct privilege to introduce today's retiree, Master Chief Petty Officer Tony Vega, United States Navy.
yourself to your neighbor, boy. Listen to your blessings. Block out the noise, may not have it all to ever win the world, but I got enough to know what I'm thankful for. So get up, get gone, go and get it done. Get up, get gone, and go and get it done. Let them wonder where you're coming from, but get up, get gone, and go and get it done. Been walking this lonely road, but I can't move on if I can't let go. Get it done, but I still stay gold. Better stories are still left untold. Been hauling this heavy load, facing that fire, but my blood stays cold. Loop stays big and my hat stays low. Gotta get up, get gone, and go. Get up, get gone, and get it done. Stand up like a man, clench your fists, make 'em run, make 'em never wanna doubt you. Head for the sun, leave 'em demons in the past, catch 'em horses on the run. If you're gonna scream outlaw, live by the gun, be the best you that you can be and learn to overcome. There's always gonna be those that try to pull you down a hole, but get up, get gone, and go and get it done. Been walking this lonely road, but I can't move on if I can't let go. Get it done, but I still stay gold. Better stories are still left untold. Been hauling this heavy load, facing that fire, but my blood stays cold. Loop stays big and my hat stays low. Gotta get up, get gone, and go. Get up, get gone, and get it done. Been walking this lonely road, but I can't move on if I can't let go. Get it done, but I still stay gold. Better stories are still left untold. Been hauling this heavy load, facing that fire, but my blood stays cold. Loop stays big and my hat stays low. Gotta get up, get gone, and go. Get up, get gone, and get it done.
Test, test. Alrighty. Woo! I don't know if it's hot in here or the nerves are kicking in. Because if it's not one of those two, I need to come to church a lot more. I want to thank each of you for being here today. Seeing everyone, family, friends, mentors, and shipmates in one place means more to me than I can put into words. I stand here today as a Master Chief and can honestly say I didn't get here alone. And I never could have. So thank you all. First, I want to thank my family. You've carried the weight behind the scenes, missed holidays, long deployments, late nights, early mornings. You didn't just support my career, you made it possible. You've kept me grounded and reminded me of who I am beyond the uniform. Your strength, patience, and unwavering support has been my anchor. I came in the Navy 24 years ago with three things. They're in this bag right here. A shoe polish brush, a keychain, and a St. Christopher pendant. That was it. No grand plan, no roadmap. Just humble beginnings and a willingness to work hard. Dang, I knew that was gonna happen.
lost a bet. I got 7 brothers out there, 6 of them, and they said, "I'll bet you cry." And I was like, "Nah, not today." I don't need those, man. Come on, man. All right, let me get back on track here. My mother gave me the pendant that stayed with me as a reminder that no matter where I go, she would always be with me and that I would be protected along my journey. She also gave me the shoe polish brush. She said, no matter how worn the soles are, you can always put a little polish on it. That statement was more than the words that put it together. It meant that no matter how you feel, tired, damaged, beat up, everything is salvageable. With a little care and effort, you can always be improved. The keychain, my then 7-year-old brother, Jay, gave it to me. It said, number one brother. The keychain held the key to every rack and locker on every ship I've been on, whether stationed or inspected it. It reminded me that I have a responsibility to do right always with integrity and a humble heart, because there's someone that looks up to you and is always watching. Liz, thank you for your sacrifice. You served right alongside of me. Your patience has always been appreciated and noticed. Hudson, all you know is Dad is in the Navy. And by obligation, that came first. It has been the reality of our life, the life that we chose. With my ode to our nation complete, my new mission is you. I now get something I've been waiting for. I get time. Time to be there, time to show up, time for us. And I promise you here that I'm going to make the most of it. Over the years, I've learned that leadership isn't about rank, it's about example. And that brings me to Pops. I would say that you are a man of few words, but then I'll be lying in church and I can't do that. What I will say is that what I've learned from you has always been a silent teaching. You've modeled without a word spoken what it is to work hard, take care of your family, be honest, and to treat people with respect and dignity. And that seemed to be the foundation of how I've led in my career. So thank you. To my friends, past and present, thank you for allowing me to experience an unbreakable bond. The camaraderie, the shared hardships, the laughter, and the toughest moments, those are the things that I'll carry with me always. To my shipmates who are still standing to watch, maintain the standard. The standard begins with you. When you wake up in the morning and put the uniform on, look in the mirror. What do you see? Are you settling for that? How do you want people to see you? Hold the person you see looking back at you accountable. Do the hard work. Stand alone, and if that means doing the right thing, and hold the line, because the standard that you walk by is the standard that you set. As a chief, it is our duty to do what no one wants to do sometimes. And if you ever get lost, look into the word, and it'll guide you back on track. C, be confident. Be confident in all you do, because there's always somebody watching. H, be humble. Free yourself from pride. I, have integrity. Do what's right always. E, experience matters. Share your knowledge and be open to others. F, be flexible. Be ready and able to change and adapt with the circumstances. As I step into this new chapter, I do so with gratitude. Gratitude for the lessons learned, the friendships made, and the opportunity to serve something greater than myself. The Navy has given me more than I could ever repay it. It shaped me, challenged me, and made me who I am today. But now it's time for me to pass the torch. To those still standing it, keep pushing forward. Keep upholding the standards. Keep taking care of one another. And to everyone here today, thank you. Thank you for being part of this journey, for your support, and for sharing the moments and sharing this moment with me. To the chiefs, remain the backbone of the Navy. A mess divided against itself will never stand. So anchor up and do your part. Navy Chief. Navy Chief. Navy Chief.
Thank you, Master Chief Vega. Let's give him another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Flag detail will now conduct the 13 folds. The colors of the flag were deliberately chosen to represent a thing that our founding fathers felt was important to build on our nation. Red stands for courage, hardness, and bloodshed. Courage, because our country is based on the courage of separating from what we once knew. Courage of starting over. Courage of fighting for our freedom. Hardness, because our founding fathers believed that our country will outlast the land that we came from. And finally, bloodshed, to honor those who have lost their life in the freedom of this country. White stands for purity and vigilance. Purity, because our country is independent and it's not corrupted by any other country. Vigilance, because our country needs to be alert and careful in the choices that we make. Blue stands for justice and perseverance. Justice, because it is the basis for our country, and perseverance, because although our nation is young, we will stand strong against all opposition. The first fold of our flag is a symbol of life. The second fold is a symbol of our belief in the eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of the veteran departed in our ranks who gave a portion of his life for the defense of our country to attain peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature. For as American citizens trusting in God, it is to Him we turn to times of peace, as well in times of war for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country, for in the words of Stephen Decatur, our country, in dealing with other countries, may she always be right, but it's still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is for where our hearts lie. It is with our heart that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through our armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all enemies, whether they be found within or without boundaries of our republic. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered the valley of the shadow of death, that we might see the light of day, and to honor Mother, for whom it flies on Mother's Day. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood, for it has been through their love, their faith, loyalty, and devotion that the character of men and women who have made this country great have been molded. The 10th fold is a tribute to the Father, for He too has given His sons and daughters for the defense of our country since they were born. The 11th fold, in the eyes of the Hebrew citizen, represents the lower portion of the seal of King David and King Solomon, and glorifies in their eyes the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold, in the eyes of the Christian citizen, represents an emblem of eternity and glorifies in their eyes God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. When the flag is completely folded, the stars are uppermost, reminding us of our national motto, "In God we trust." The flag detail will now conduct the passing of the flag ceremony. The sailors passing the flag represent Master Chief Vega's rank, professionalism, and demonstrate how he has progressed through the ultimate rank, that of a Master Chief Petty Officer, a rank less than 1% of enlisted personnel can attain in their career. I am the flag of the United States of America, and my name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's cause of justice. I fly majestically over great institutions of learning. I stand guard with the greatest military power in the world. Look up and see. I stand for peace, truth, honor, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident. I am arrogant. I am proud. When I am flown with my fellow banners, my head is a little higher, my colors a little truer. I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am worshiped I led my sailors and Marines. I followed them. I watched over them. They loved me. I was on a small hill in Iwo Jima. I was battle-worn and tired, but my sailors and Marines cheered me. I was proud. I was at Ground Zero in New York City on September 11th as cowardly fanatics attacked America. I was raised from the ashes of once proud buildings by brave firefighters, heroes who risked their lives to save others, showing all that America, although bloodied, will never be beaten. Those who will destroy me cannot win, for I am the symbol of freedom, of one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I have been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of my own country. And when it is done by those whom I have served with in battle, it hurts. But I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped the surely bonds of earth, and from my vantage point on the moon, I stand watch over the uncharted new frontiers of space. I have been a silent witness of all of America's finest hours. But my finest hour comes when I am torn into strips and used as bandages for my wounded comrades on the field of battle. When I fly half-mast to honor my soldiers, my sailors, my airmen, and my Marines. And when I lie in the trembling arms of a grieving mother at the gravesite of her fallen son or daughter, I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Long may I wave, dear God, my God, long may I wave. At this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Jim to play the video on.
Tony, brother, congratulations. Still remember the day you invited me over to Panera so that we could meet up and talk about how our lives were going to change. You helped get me through a season that was very tough for me, and I would say that you were definitely a big reason why my career went the way it did. So I'm very thankful to you, thankful to have you and Megan in our lives. We miss you very much, and we wish that we can see the family again soon. Best of luck to you and to the family. Megan, Tony's coming home. And again, Tony, congratulations. Retirement life is good. It's great on this side. Fair winds, following seas. Navy Chief, Navy Pride, brother.
Tony, man, congratulations on your retirement, brother. Go Dogs.
Hey, Tony. Hey, Megan. Baby Hudson. We're sorry we couldn't be there in person, but we wanted to make this video to tell you how happy we are that you are finally on our side now. And we are so proud of you, and we're so happy for you guys and your family. And but like I told Clarence, I had to say a little story about you, Tony. So hopefully nobody else is watching this. But I remember when I was on the Lincoln and I was in the cheese mess with my crew, because you know we had our own little crew and our own little table. And I remember seeing you a few times before walking around the ship, like you owe that. So I said to myself, who does this pretty boy think he is, right? And then I found out from other people who you was. And then one day you came in a mess and you came over to our table, like to say hi to somebody at our table. And all I kept saying in my head was, yeah, okay, say what you have to say and keep walking because you're not sitting at our table. That's what I said in my head, right? And then guess what? Then we became the best of friends when I found out you knew my husband and everything was gravy. But that was my story. But I just wanted to say, I remember when I retired, you were there and how on point you was about my ceremony and making sure everybody knew what they were doing and everybody's in their places. And I was so grateful. I was so, oh, I'm getting emotional. And that's why even more I feel bad that we couldn't be there in person. But I just want you to know that we love you and that we want you and Megan and Hudson to enjoy this great side of the life. And yes, not for nothing, you are our brother, and we will always be brothers in the mess and sisters in the mess. But let me tell you, this side over here is the best side. And I'm not talking about civilian, I'm talking about leaving and moving here where we are. So sell everything, pack everything, and we will be right here to pick you up at the airport. Okay? All right, we love you.
Matter of fact, let me show you.
Yes.
Let's go see some other stuff. Let's check out some of the things you can do now that you're retired. You can smell the roses. I don't know what these are. They ain't roses. Or you can wash your car. You could be out here listening to Nas, walking the streets, anywhere you want to be now. You can take a walk down a foreign pier. Maybe go boat shopping. That's not what I'm doing, by the way. Take some time to walk in the park. You can go to the mall. You can go to a movie. Yeah, one ticket, please. You can pick up the kids from school on time. Say hi to Uncle Tony.
Hi, Tony.
Hey, congratulations to Mr. Tony.
Congratulations, Mr. Tony.
Or my favorite activity. Oh boy. Oh, absolutely nothing. Whatever you decide to do, we know you're going to do great things because that's just the type of person you are. So thank you for allowing us to be your friends. And congratulations to you, Megan, and Hudson. And we'll see you on the pier. Love you guys. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Hey, Tony. Belay last. Hey, Megan, Tony, family. What a great day. What an amazing career. While this is about your retirement, both of you inspired me since the Frank Cable days. Tony, on the JFK, you were the accountability line before the conversation got to Rich. And the reminder to all the chiefs not even paid yet to hold the line in the standards. Also, thank you for getting me into the SEA class. Forever grateful. I would not be here today as a CMC if it wasn't for you, so thank you. Congratulations and enjoy your well-deserved forever family time.
Hey brother, how's it going? I sure wish I could be there today with you and your family, celebrating this big moment in your guys' life together. For those listening, I'd just like to say Anthony's been a good mentor, shipmate, and even greater friend since I've known him. And I'm sure he's been that way for many of you. I've known him since 2012 on board Abraham Lincoln. We served together in Reactor Department, and I think I owe a big success in my career to Anthony. As he was moving up the ranks, he was moving up the ladder to better positions. He saw something in me and thought I could take over his previous position well and take care of sailors as he did. And over the years, he continued to give me more mentorship and guidance. And ultimately, that led me to making the rank of Chief Petty Officer as I transferred to my next command. Besides being a fair and consistent person, great chief to me and everyone around me that I saw, I really wish I could have served another tour with him somewhere else. I'm sure it would have been great. But nonetheless, I'm happy to consider him one of my greatest friends, and stay in contact with him as much as I can, because he means a lot to me, and I'm very very proud to have him as a friend of mine, as many of you probably are, as I said. So just want to say congratulations to you, Anthony, Megan, Hudson. It's a good moment to have this retirement, and I hope you enjoy your next journey as you guys move on.
I would now like to invite retired Command Master Chief Tony Gray to the stage.
Chief Petty Officers, attention to the creed. You have on this day experienced that which comes to all of us who serve on active duty in our Navy. I say our Navy because your departure from active duty in no way terminates your relationship. By law and tradition, U.S. Navy retirees are always on the rolls, ever ready to lend their service when the need arises. The respect that you earned as the chief was based on the same attributes that you will now carry into retirement. You should have no regrets. Do not view your retirement as an end of an era, but rather as orders to a new and challenging assignment, to a form of independent duty. Remember well that you have been and will always be an accepted member of the most exclusive of all fraternities, that of the U.S. Navy Chief Petty Officers. The active duty chiefs salute you. Chief Petty Officers, hand salute. Ready, toot. Your retired chiefs welcome you. Welcome, big dog. I wish you the traditional fair winds and following seas. Chief Petty Officers, at ease. Seats.
Will all active duty service members remain standing and remain covered? The watch will now be performed by Hospitalman Frankie Santos and Chief Rafael Espinoza.
Yet he still stood to watch. For 24 years he stood to watch so that we and our families and our fellow countrymen could sleep safely and soundly each and every night, knowing that a sailor, not a soldier, not a Marine, but a sailor stood to watch. Master Chief, front and center. Today, we gather here to say, shipmate, you stand relieved. by those you have led, relieved by those you have guided, relieved by those you have trained, and last but not least, relieved by the one you have inspired.
And salute.
Master Chief Vega, you stand relieved. We have the watch.
Ready, two. All Navy Chiefs, retired and active duty. Touch! Navy Chief! Navy Pride! Navy Chief! Navy Pride! Navy Chief! Navy Pride! Hoorah! Master Chief Vega will now request permission to go ashore for the last time. Bosun, stand by to pipe the side boys. This shipmate is going ashore. Bell ringer. Sound 2 bells. Master Chief Petty Officer, United States Navy, retired, departing. Anthony, it's now time to go to shore with the family and stay ashore, shipmate. Will the family join as this sailor departs for the last time? Bell ringer, sound 2 bells. Master Chief, retired, United States Navy, departing. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony, and on behalf of Master Chief Vega and his family, thank you very much for attending. Have a wonderful day. Booyah!